Hello, Madness World. Welcome back to a new episode of Kevirsyle Network. I am your host, Kevin Davis, and we're all a little bit mad here. And my today's guest is a new friend of mine, Ben Ferrari from Pilot Studios. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. Thanks, Kevin. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Welcome to the show. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, what you do, and what you get into?
Absolutely. So we hooked up because I have a Kickstarter that I launched about a little more than a week ago. And I'm looking to tell people about it. I've done 8 or 9 Kickstarters over the years. This is the first one for this series called Kanin The Marauder. We have 4 issues planned in this series. I'm drawing the 5th issue right now. So I've been making comics since I was 10 years old, drawing comics. And
Wow.
I'm about 50, so I've been doing it a long time. I worked after high school for Rob Liefeld in Extreme Studios, 94 to 96, approximately 2 years. And I learned how to make comics at that time. Best experience of my whole life, hanging out in the bullpen, made a lot of good friends, learned the basics about making comics. And with a few exceptions, I never stopped. I think the housing crisis of 2008 to 2010, I had time on my hands at home, and because I'm an electrician and there wasn't a lot of work going on. So I ended up just cranking them out. I decided to just start making them. So it's been a good 15 or plus years of making comics regularly as Pilot Studios. I've probably made 100, somewhere in there. Not all of those were mine. I help a lot of people, a lot of friends. We trade favors. I'll draw a short story here and there. Somebody will do it for me. So I say 100 or so books, but some of those are other people's books that I've just contributed to. And then I've made dozens and dozens of my own books over the years, including this one, Kanin The Marauder.
Heck yeah, and it's actually fun. The comment right here. This is Pops. I was just telling you about the Madness Facebook group before we came live. So this is Pops. He is the leader and the founder of Madness.
Cool. Nice to meet you, Pop.
So you're I'll see you an invite to the Madness group, and you promote anything that you want to promote. That's how we get our stuff out there.
Sweet.
And
That's great.
And we're when you're in indie, we're legit like family. We support each other.
Good.
And I've been in the indie space for like 3 years now, so I'm still fairly new. I didn't grow up on comics at all. I didn't even know there was a medium.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
That is, everybody comes into it at some point. You know what I mean? Whether it's early me at 10 or later in life. So that's cool.
Oh yeah, like I'm a big fan of Marvel and DC and like Hellboy, but I didn't know there were books before there was movies and TV shows.
Oh my God, how
animations.
funny! How old are you?
I'm 26 years old,
26.
and I fell in love with comics in 2020 when COVID hit.
Perfect.
I'm already a homebody, but when COVID hit, I didn't want to just sit around watching TV and be on social media all the time.
Yeah.
I grew up in an old school household, so my mother always tried to get us outside to play. Like, go outside and play sometimes. I was like, I was like, that's how introverted I am.
You thought that? Oh, how funny.
Yeah. So I wanted to like read books. I read novels like Percy Jackson, Harry Potter, Twilight, and just anything I could get my hands on.
Okay.
And then I found out about Marvel Comics and DC Comics, and I checked out like their digital property. I'm like, I didn't buy the physicals because I didn't know if I was gonna like them or not. So I'm like, I'll buy the digital to see what I think.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. So of course I had to go to Spider-Man first. One of my all-time favorites, Spider-Man. Then I went to Thor, Captain America, Hulk, Daredevil. Read some Iron Fist, and then a DC Superman. I read some Superman, but I didn't read all the Superman because there's so many to even read.
So many. Are you just reading new stuff, or are you kind of dipping your toe in the past, old books?
I'm going to the past first because I want to see how it was before now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've always hearing about how people love like the past DC Marvels and that saying it was better than the modern versions right now.
That's what they say.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna dip into the past to see how it is.
Good.
And then I found about independent comics when I found out about like Dark Horse.
Uh-huh.
That's where Hellboy was published, I think.
Oh yeah, still is.
And yeah, and I was like, dude, I freaking love Hellboy. I mean, how did I not know this was a comic too? Like, where the hell are these comics coming from, dude? And
They're
then I hear
coming out of
about
the brain of Mike Mignola, right? He
yeah,
started with Hellboy, and he's probably done 24 different
two.
properties.
Oh my God,
Yeah, all related.
oh yeah, I'm like, he's one of my favorite writers and one of
Yeah,
my inspiration influencers. Like when I'm writing my stories,
cool.
and
That's
then
a
I
good
find out,
influence.
oh yeah, oh yeah, and especially I'm a big fan of monsters and horror and fantasy, and that's
Okay.
really my strong suit if I'm going to be honest.
Okay. Have you read
And
any Conan? You've tried any Conan yet?
I have not yet. I have not yet.
So, um, Conan is something I came into way late in life, right? I said I'm almost
Yeah.
50. I probably only started reading it 5, maybe 6, 7 years ago, and I ended up creating Kanin the Marauder as my Conan the Barbarian. You know, I made him a rabbit,
Wow.
and that's where the similarities really end, except for its swords and sandals. But I would
Okay.
tell you, if you're looking to try it, to
Mhm.
check out the modern series that's coming out right now. It is excellent. You know, I think they're 23 issues, 22 issues in.
Okay.
Conan the Barbarian. They've done a couple of mini series. You can kind of stay away from that, maybe if you really like everything else, and try the minis.
Mhm.
But the main series, it's just so good, and I've been collecting it regularly, you know, and I don't last more than a few issues on a series usually. I usually get bored, really. But
Mhm.
this, I'm there every month for it, 23 issues in. And then I've been collecting all the 70s and 80s Conan the
Mhm.
Barbarian. I want to say there was close to 300 issues.
Oof.
And then the
Wow.
series was canceled in the mid 80s. And I
Oh
go to these
wow.
small conventions, and I have fun flipping through the used book bins, and finding
Mhm.
beat up copies of these old Conans. And they're what you just described. It's fantasy, it's monsters all over the place. You know, the
Mhm.
guy's just a wanderer. He's not particularly the best person in the world. He's not some kind of, I mean, he's a hero in that he rescues people and he does the right thing. But usually there's a reward in there for him, you know, and I think that's kind of cool. I think that's a little bit different, more realistic as far as a personality type.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm drawn to it. He doesn't do it just because he's a perfect person. Nobody's perfect, right? So he's always fighting monsters and rescuing the women and drinking heavily. And he goes on as a thief. You know, he spends time as a
Mhm.
thief and as a pirate. I mean, those are the interesting characters to me. So I would recommend Conan myself to anybody.
Heck yeah, I'm gonna definitely check that out because I love those type of stories. Like I've seen both movies of Conan, the Jason
Um,
Momoa one and the Arnold Schwarzenegger
sure.
Conan.
Yeah, I like
Um,
that Jason Momoa one. I thought it was pretty good.
I did, yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
And when you say you usually get bored and like in the series, like what grabs your attention that makes you want to continue a series when you're reading? Like, is it
Well,
character driven or like the story or like how what grabs you?
like I said, I've been reading for 40 years, right?
Mm,
And that's a lot of superhero comics in there. So I rarely, if ever, pick up Marvel anymore. Almost never DC. I realize everybody's loving Absolute Batman, but I just don't care, you know. And I bought the first issue actually. It's sitting in a box somewhere, but it didn't grab me. And so I'm over superhero stuff. I don't make superhero comics anymore, and I rarely read them. What I'm interested in is the different genres, and it really is a golden age if you're interested in things outside of superheroes. Comics have never been so diverse as far as genres. You know, I
mm,
can go out, I can pick up Brubaker and Phillips doing criminal. If you like crime books, go
mm,
back to probably 15 years old as a guess. They started putting out a series called Criminal. They did a couple volumes. Absolutely the best ever. You know, pulp, violence, but no powers, no mind control, nothing like that. No aliens, just people doing bad things. Crime books, right?
mm.
And then they've done a bunch of things since, and I've followed most of that. So I enjoy most things that Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, that they put out. Um, I really pick up a lot of random stuff, you know.
Same, same.
let me back up a little bit. I also am really enjoying Robert Kirkman's Transformers. Transformers was the first comic I bought as a kid, along with GI Joe. I started tracing Transformers comics. That's how
Yes, I love GI Joe. I
you're
love GI
reading
Joe.
both of those. Okay,
Yeah. No,
I
I'm
love them
reading GI
both.
Joe. I haven't got to Transformers yet. I'm reading GI Joe.
Oh wow. Okay, GI
Yeah.
Joe's better. So you're on the fine track.
Yeah.
I, GI Joe is unbelievable. And
Oh
I
yeah.
picked up the continuation because Skybound is paying a guy named Larry Hama, who's been writing GI Joe for, is it 40 years, something like that. And so he's continuing that series in the 300s now with Skybound. And so I picked up that, and I'm not a big fan of
300.
that one
That's
actually.
crazy.
That
Wow.
original series I'm not enjoying like at all, but I really am enjoying this reboot, which, how unusual is that, right? They took the GI
Yeah.
Joe bones and they started over, and they're doing some things the same, some things different, and it's really
Hmm.
really good. So and then Transformers, that's done by a guy named Daniel Warren Johnson, who's he did the, I think, the first 6 issues of art, and he's written it the whole 25 issues. And now he
Hmm.
jumped off. He said goodbye, and you got Robert Kirkman, known, of course, for The Walking Dead
Hmm.
and Invincible, and so many other good ones. And
Oh
those
yeah.
couple issues of his Transformers are just really, really good. So I just like a good story, and
Yeah. Same.
so and something different.
Yeah, I'm completely the same. I actually don't read too much superheroes. Like I would say, I'll usually go to like horror and fantasy.
Yeah.
And that's when I first started writing my own comics. I didn't even think about doing a superhero comic because when I think of comics, I think of different type of stories, not just superheroes.
Okay.
And so my first comic is more of a science fiction action thriller called Arcfire.
Arcfire,
Where
right
it
on.
Yeah,
Cool.
where it's a story of my character Kithio Arcfire. He wakes up in a egg-like cocoon, has
Okay.
no memory of who he is or how he got there or why he's there,
Uh-huh.
and he has this cosmic power inside of him that he's trying to figure out how to control, and like how does he have his power. So he's on this journey to figure out his basically his history because he doesn't know anything.
Okay.
And so in the
Cool.
series you'll meet different type of characters like vampires, witches, different type of creatures that comes off the top of my head,
Very
like
cool.
random creatures I create. And and I really have more fun writing a hard fantasy than thinking about a superhero because I feel like superhero is really complicated to write because like there's like a certain rule that you have to do for a superhero, and I was like, yeah, I'm not
Sure.
that interested.
Yeah, I agree.
um,
Yep.
but I am writing a superhero universe, but it's not for me. It's for somebody else, for a friend of mine that wanted to get into comics for years. I'm writing for.
Uh-huh.
So I'm helping her out. I can't legally talk about it yet until she gives me the permission to. But she's
Cool.
probably going. She has to be here with me more than likely, so we can both talk about it. But it was a challenge, but I'm actually having fun writing it, and it's pretty interesting.
That's good. No, I'm
Um,
impressed being a newcomer somewhat to comics, and you're jumping right into writing.
yeah,
Um, I think that's kind of unusual. Most people, want to be an artist or whatever. So, continue that. That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I used to draw when I was a kid, but writing is became more of my therapy, if that makes sense.
Oh
And
yeah,
just
absolutely.
I feel like I drawn more to writing because I can get my thoughts out clearer, and I drawing just give me too much of a headache.
Yeah,
Where writing gives me peace, if that makes any
absolutely,
type of sense. What I just said. And
absolutely.
plus,
That's why writers love writing, because they get to check
yeah,
out over the real world and enter something else and create something else.
oh
Absolutely.
yeah. And I was also influenced like by my mother, who's also a writer, so I get that
Okay.
gift or like that gene from her.
Okay.
And I read her murder mystery book that she let me read before she publishes it, and that
Wow.
also kind of sparked a fire in me and
Absolutely.
wanted to challenge myself. I'm like, I can do this. I'm like, let me see if I can do this.
Sure.
And
And
then
then
I
you just
got
get better.
exactly, and so I
Mhm.
spent like a good couple years before studying comics, like how to write them, how to format them,
Okay.
like and how to find the right artist that I want for my story.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't just jump into writing. I legit took practice a couple years before I made a professional out of it.
Okay.
And and now I have like 200 stories on my laptop
Wow.
saved in my drive now.
Impressive.
I have such an imagination that I want to get out, and I'm just taking my time because the way I organize it is like this is my priority stories. This is the second priority. These are the later down the pipeline.
Sure.
stories.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
try to keep that organization going, and I get inspired like by different like Mike Manola with Hellboy, um, even Zack Snyder with, like the Dawn of the Dead movie and the Army of the Dead, like even The
Oh,
Walking
Zach.
Dead,
Mhm.
even with The Walking Dead, like you mentioned, and and like even Stranger Things, like Conjuring, Insidious, and I'm a Lord of the Rings fan as well.
Yeah.
I'm a Disney kid. I'm a Nickelodeon kid. All these things just really inspired me and wanted and got me into wanting to storytell. And then I also got to the point where I was like, I'm tired of all these rehashes every single year.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to the point, it's like, why do I need to write on somebody to tell a story when I can just start it myself? Like to bring originality back. It's gonna take a minute to build it, but I'd rather build my own original than keep waiting for someone to do it. And just I was
Agreed.
like, and I'm
Yeah.
like, and I'm having so much fun with it, and it's been a blast. And I'm still going and listen to everyone's story about how their adventure in this creative world. It really just inspires me even more daily,
Yeah.
and that's what got me into podcasting because I love talking to you guys and like learning from you and getting wisdom from you guys because y'all have been doing this way longer than I have, and just getting that advice from you guys really is like it pushes me even more to never give up.
Yeah, I
So
understand
yeah,
that. Absolutely. Talking to other people and making friends and who are
oh
going
yeah,
through the same thing, it really is, it's the
oh
best
yeah,
way to keep going because, in a way, I don't want to disappoint all my friends, who've
oh
been
yeah.
making these projects with me for so long. So it's like, well, what am I doing tonight? I'm doing that again because I have to
I
finish.
was I was a Cartoon Network kid too, so I was all over the place.
Cartoon Network, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And speaking of your Kickstarter, let me put it up right quick. Here we go. Can you tell us a bit about your is Kanan?
Kanan is how I pronounce
Kanan.
it. I talk to my friends and they turn out pronouncing it something different. I don't. I pronounce
Like,
it Kanan. People say Cannon. Okay,
okay,
but I
Kanan the
like
Marauder. Can
the
you give us a
Marauder.
bit of a backstory of who this character is and what made you want to start making this character in this story?
Well, it is. I hate the term, but it's a love letter to Conan, the Barbarian. So
Understood.
we set it far in the future. There's no humans left, and we just touch on this idea. There's no humans left. The oceans have risen and fallen. Humans are long gone. Animals that survived have evolved. So we're talking about a long time after the fall of man, right?
Okay.
Um, Animals have evolved and mutated and turned into sort of humanoids, right? So my main character is Kanan. He's a humanoid rabbit. He is an
I was just about to
adventurer.
ask you if he was a rabbit because it looks so freaking badass. It's so freaking cool.
Cool. Yeah, I
Wow.
got a lot of good artists too. I did the interiors, but I get better artists than myself on covers. I got a guy named Luis Rivera on one of the other covers. That's probably my favorite cover. And then Seth Demus did an excellent cover. And then I did the third one, the one that's like dark blue, is mine. And you got another one by Seth Demus with the bad guy in the first issue standing behind Kanan. That's by Seth Demus. And then Luis Rivera did the one where Kanan's sort of jumping out at you. Um, so
Hmm.
um, yeah, so we Kurt Belcher and I developed my idea. That's kind of how it started. He helped me develop it and design the characters, and then we plotted it together. And he wrote scripts, and off I went. And we've been doing that for, I want to say, 3 years, and we finished 4.5 issues so far. This
Wow.
Kickstarter is presenting the first three. I'm sorry, the first four of those
Okay.
issues.
Okay.
Um, and you know, there's I don't know, you probably haven't heard, I would guess, of a book called Lone Wolf and Cub.
I
Um,
have actually.
you have, okay,
Yeah, I have.
samurai book. A
Oh
little
yeah. Yeah.
baby, is his charge. He has to protect and travel with this kid.
Oh
There's a
yeah.
little bit of that feel with the first issue, um, with the first series, I should say, Lone Wolf and Cub, where he has to protect this kid. And we got a cool twist at the end. So that
Dude,
cover right
look
there,
at
that's
this
mine.
graphic. Oh my God.
That's mine. I think you can see some Liefeld in there. Are you familiar with Rob Liefeld?
Oh yes, I am. Oh
Okay,
yeah.
so I worked with him. I was a huge fan back in the '90s. When he started the New Mutants. That was his big breakthrough work. and I was a big fan. And he ended up, it turned out, he went to my church in Southern California.
Wow.
And so I met him, and I talked to him occasionally. It was just a thrill talking to him, watching his career, and actually, being able to talk to him and et cetera. And I would ask him for a tour. And I graduated high school, and I asked him for a tour after church one day, and he gave me a tour. And I went to work for Image Comics right next door. This is in Anaheim, California, and Image Comics, was on the same floor. And so I went to work for Image Comics based on his recommendation. And that was a lot of fun. It only lasted a couple of months until Rob said, "You're coming to work for me." So I went next door and worked at
Wow.
Extreme Studios. So I say that only because his influence, I feel like, comes out in that first image. So this next one you're scrolling past is by a guy named Seth DeMoose.
Wow.
A friend of mine on Facebook, and he's just super talented. I got him for a couple covers. This one I like. The next one that I'm doing for issue 3, I think is even better. Kanan is jumping off this boat into the ocean, and these 2 females are on this ship behind him. It's beautiful. Sadly, I'm at work and not in my office, so I can't just grab a bunch of artwork and show you. But take my word for it. Seth DeMoose is awesome. And so those are 2 of the 3 covers. Luis Rivera
looks like a villain, or
that is the main villain in the first issue. Yeah.
Okay.
He's kind of a warlord.
I can tell he looks like one. He looks like one. He gives that vibe. He definitely gives that vibe.
He's taken over and sort of destroyed the area that Kanan grew up in. Is the basics of it, and so he is hired to help some locals. That's how the first issue starts, and then we're off on a journey for 4 issues. And it's cool, and that's by Luis Rivera. That's my favorite of all of them.
Wow.
But I'm proud of the series because we made a point to take Kanan, on these adventures to all sorts of locales, right? The first issue, it's all forests and caves. The second issue, we got him deep in the desert, and then up on an airship flying through the air, like a not an airship, but a Zeppelin. Mm-hmm. And then third issue, he's on the ocean in a ship, and then he's actually gets swallowed by a massive sea monster. And so we got a couple of page sequence where he's inside the belly of this huge monster. I'm stoked on that. I can't wait to show that.
Yeah, it's no ordinary rabbit at all.
Exactly.
Oh wow.
And then the fourth and final issue, he's on an island. That's how we end the 4 issues, on this island.
Wow. And Pop says self-tables at both the local con share, and they talked to him a few times.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Pop's comments and that he self-tables at both of the local con share, and they talked to him a few times.
Oh, cool. Talk to me?
No, talk to Self.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
So this series is only how you said 4 issues, so usually you ending this at 4 issues.
We are, but the truth is I'm halfway done, 2/3 done with a 5th issue.
Oh, so there is more. Okay.
Oh, there's tons more. Oh my God,
okay.
There's tons more. Not only is there tons more, so it's now you're getting into some pages. That's the first page I ever drew. Guess what? It's page 1 of this first issue. So in the last couple months, we developed something I think is kind of new in comics. We're focusing on not just Kanan the Marauder. What we've done is made Kanan the Marauder one era of his life as a 40-year-old.
Okay.
He's weathered. He's kind of angry. He's wandering, but he had a childhood at some point, and so we developed an offshoot series called Lil Kanan, LILKANIN, and there's some artwork on the page for that. So in the first issue, you'll see the main story with Kanan the Marauder, but you'll also see a 2-page short story called Lil Kanan, where he's a little baby, he's a little toddler running around, and it's just really cute artwork. My friend Jay Hewer wrote the story. So we also, over these 4 issues, will have another short story crammed in one of them called Young Kanan the Rebel, and that's in his teenage years. And so at young Kanan, you're seeing him as a teenager with teenage angst and lusting after the women, you know, and kind of learning some truths about life. And we really have a 60s sort of comics vibe, 70s even.
Oh,
Like
nice.
R. Crumb and you know, various classic underground comic artists. We're aiming for that feel with this young Kanan, the Rebel series of short stories. So we have Kanan the Marauder, we have Lil Kanan, we have young Kanan the Rebel, and then the fourth and final era that we're doing stories for is called Old Man Kanan. He's an old man. He is weathered. He is beaten. He's scarred, big beard, and he's a ruler. He's actually a king, and that is similar to Conan.
Oh,
We're doing
snap.
some different things with it too. So I think this book is we're doing something new and different, even though it's based on loosely on the Conan mythology. We're doing something new and different, and that's focusing on multiple points of his life. So I think that's kind of interesting and different. Besides the main story. So all those pages you're scrolling past are my pages showing battle between Kanan and a group who are after him for various reasons. You'll find out later.
Man, what made you choose a rabbit as your character? Like, did you have
I
like other drafts that you want to do, or
that's
use a different animal, or was it always
Nope.
a rabbit?
I looked at my pet rabbit and I said,
Ah,
"You are beautiful." It's this little female rabbit that I have.
uh,
She's in my office, and I designed her. She's black and white, and so I designed my character Kanan looking at her. You know, the top of her face is black, and the bottom from the nose down is white, and so that's how he came. You know, I changed it a little bit, but the
right.
white and black colors that comes from my rabbit. So that page you're looking at there is a Lil Kanan, one of the
Oh, just
two
to see the bigger
pages.
look. Okay.
Right? He's a toddler, and so we have these sort of lighter adventures,
Huh.
but we'll have some depth to the stories as well. But you can see that the style change, you know, the themes are different, not quite obviously so violent.
Right. Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, so we made our goal. It was a low goal.
Yeah. Let me go back up right quick. 500, and you got 940. You still got 6 days left.
Yeah,
Nice.
so it's a low goal, right? I've done
Yeah.
9, I think, Kickstarters, and I think rarely have I done a goal so low. I just said let's fund it, and I also did a 2 week window, so it was a short one of 2 weeks and $500. And hopefully, I'm hoping by the end we're at 2,000. That's really what I think would be, you know, a respectable showing for
Heck
something
yeah.
new. And then with issue 2, we'll all, you know, when it comes out in 6 weeks on Kickstarter, I will also still offer issue 1. So anybody interested can just pick up issue 1 with number 2 when it's available later on.
What
Uh,
Jameson said, hell yeah.
cool. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, I appreciate everybody's enthusiasm. You know, I've been working on these for a long time. Um,
It-
I've told you that I've done a bunch of Kickstarters, I believe. My biggest Kickstarter was a book called Always Punch Nazis. Highly political,
Interesting.
anti-Donald Trump. These are not for MAGA. These are not for Donald Trump fans, you know. And we started in 2016 after Charlottesville, and we made Always Punch Nazis Volume 1. It was successful. There was a lot of drama, which is a story for another day. But Volume 2 came a year or so after. Volume 3 came, I think, in 2020. And then it took me all these years to put a trade paperback together. And now I have a compendium, Always Punch Nazis compendium. And that is also available in the add-on section of this Kickstarter. So, and that was my biggest Kickstarter yet, the compendium for Always Punch Nazis.
I see you got a little trailer right here. You say, I'm gonna play it right quick.
Okay.
Hey everybody, my name is Ben Ferrari, Pilot Studios. This video you're watching is for our new Kickstarter, Kanin The Marauder #1. We plan on doing 4 Kickstarters in a row every 6 weeks, 2-week short, 2-week short campaigns. Kanin The Marauder was created by me and Kurt Belcher. I did the art. Kurt and I developed the stories together. And we have a great story, sort of a rabbit Conan style character set in the far future. Swords and sandals, fantasy type thing. Serious stories. I'm proud of my art. We have an excellent colorist with Federico Siak Pito Jr. and Alex DeLuca and Warren Montgomery on colors. I got some great covers. We got 3 different cover options. Seth DeMoose, I did a cover, and Luis Rivera did a cover on issue 1. Every 6 weeks, we will start a new Kickstarter until we have all 4 issues done, and then we'll do a Kanin the Marauder trade paperback collecting the 4. I show you this with a new cover by Chuck Todd because this shows you that we're completely done with the 4 issues. Kanin the Marauder 1 through 4 is completely done. This Kickstarter is to pay for a print run and to pay some of the collaborators for their work. So we're very proud of the books, and we're going to have them out on time because they are completely done. The idea is to get them out regularly, and so that you'll have them in your hands by the time the next Kickstarter starts. If I can show you some of what I've done in the past, show you my love for comic books. I did a short story for Warren Montgomery called Stella Raj, right here, with some art by me and Kurt Belcher on inks. Short story in there. Did a cover for Travis Gibbs' Expired series a few years ago. Justin Kane and Potico by my buddy Jay Hewer, longtime collaborator. We did a bunch of books and collected them in what's called Road to Zion Wars, and then we did a brand new Zion Wars one-shot afterwards. These are just examples of many, many books we've done over the years. I had a series called The Sun Chasers in stores with Red 5 Comic Books, Red 5 Comics. I did a series, 2 volumes worth of series, about 10 issues total, of the Carriers, Weaponized Carrier Pigeons and Their New York Adventures, also published by Red 5 Comics. These are available on their website. I even had a story written by Jay Hewer in Free Comic Book Day. This was one of the feathers in my cap. This is one of the best things we've ever done. 47,000 copies of this book went worldwide. So very proud of that. I show you that just so you know that we are serious about making comic books. We don't waste anybody's time. We do the best we can do, stories and art. I also did a book called Always Punch Nazis. This was 3 individual volumes that we collected in a really nice, slick hardcover. Great artwork and stories. It is an anthology. Tons of different genres done in here, different art, but it's all awesome. It's all well written, and that is available too as an add-on on the Kickstarter. We got some original art, so make sure again that you go to the, not that one, make sure again that you go to the add-on section of the Kickstarter page, and you will see a bunch of artwork sitting over here.
Yeah.
This is page 9 of Kickstarter of Kanin the Marauder #1. Page 10 of Kanin the Marauder #1. Page 11 of Kanin the Marauder #1. And page 14 of Kanin the Marauder #1, all available on the add-on section of this Kickstarter. And then I got one of the 3 covers. This is my cover of Kanin the Marauder #1. It is also available. So, Kanin the Marauder, rabbit humanoid in a world of monsters and mutants, no humans, far in the future, swords and sandals, Conan style, great action. The books are done. We'd appreciate your support. They're going to come rapid fire. Thank you very much for listening.
Wow. Dude, that's freaking awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mentioned in that video about a couple of series with Red 5 Comics. We did 2 volumes of Carriers, Weaponized Carrier Pigeons and Their New York Adventures. That was in stores. And then The Sun Chasers, which is about the son of Hitler out to redeem the Hitler name. He's a good person trying to take out people like his father, sort of the Punisher with a better backstory. And both of those are at red5comics.com. That right there is a sticker that I'm going to do for the first stretch goal that are already printed and everything. They're pretty awesome.
You hit 1K. You're so close to 1K too.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
me $40 to get to 1K?
60 more.
60 bucks. Okay, 60 bucks to get to 1K, so we can unlock this awesome sticker.
Yeah, we're sort of in the doldrums, right in the middle. If you ever done a Kickstarter, you know, in the center,
in
the middle of it, it just gets real quiet. That's where we are right now. And that's okay. So,
and this is the original art you mentioned in the video that's in the add-on section.
That one actually I did as a tier, and that's already taken.
Okay.
But there are other pages available. So.
Wow, nice. And 1 through 4 is already completed, guys. And this Kickstarter is just to get the print one going, so you can send them out to your backers, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Man, this is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. I have a couple of, after the Kickstarter, my goal is for it to be in stores. So there's a couple of publishers I'm talking to about that.
Heck yeah. Yeah, guys, let's back his Kickstarter. I'm going to share the link in the comments. Not comics, but comments. Sometimes my tongue twists.
Yeah, happens all the time.
It's like, here's the Kickstarter right here, guys. Let's go back. His Kickstarter gets to 1,000, so we can unlock that sticker. I shared it in the comments. Pops also shared in the comments. See, this is what Madness is all about. We promote each other, and
very cool.
It's also on the Madness Roku. I think that's Roku, or Twitch is also shared there, so we can all go back your comic.
Much appreciated. That would be awesome.
And get it to 1,000 and potentially 2,000 before the 6 days are up.
That's my goal. Yeah. It was only a 2-week campaign, so we're halfway through.
Heck yeah. And can you tell us like any other projects that's coming after this series that you can tease about potentially?
Well, the 5th issue is a standalone story. And so that'll either be an issue 5 or an annual potentially. I have a bunch of short stories from a bunch of really good artists. Kurt Belcher is my co-creator, and he's doing a short story about Old Man Kanin. I got a guy named James Banderas Smith. The guy's just phenomenal. He's doing some short stories too. So, I think I'm going to keep going with this series. I'll probably take a break after a few more. And do something new, maybe a crime book. I don't know, or maybe we'll spin off some of these characters into something, into their own solo book. There's lots of good characters that we've made. But my focus right now is Kanin the Marauder. I enjoy it. I've done 4 issues of a book before called The Long Hunters, one of my first series I made. North American mountain men, early 1800s frontier genre. I did 4 issues of that, and I haven't gone back to it. And I think this series has more longevity for me as far as keeping my attention. The Kanin book does, I mean. So I'm going to stick with it for a while. I have a short story I did with a guy named John Helmer, Lucky Comics. We just finished the cover for that a few days ago. I did the art at Kurt Belcher's Inks, and that'll be a black and white book. John puts out kind of an interesting business model, I guess you could call it. He does short stories, 8 pages, black and white. So it's just a thin comic, black and white, but it's also affordable, and he puts them out regularly. He's got dozens and dozens of different public domain characters that he.
Oh, so wait a minute! Somebody back just shared your campaign.
Spectacular.
Oh, nice! Thank you, Brad.
Thanks, Brad. Much appreciated.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's my next, I guess, thing coming out besides Kanin the Marauder is an issue of this. It's actually called Crom from Lucky Comics, and Crom is another Conan style character, and I got to do my human version of basically another Conan named Crom. So,
Heck yeah,
and that was
that's
a lot of
awesome.
fun. I think that turned into 9 pages actually, and the cover. So, Lucky Comics, John Helmer, look him up. Good guy.
Heck
Puts
yeah.
out things regularly.
Yeah.
I guess that's about it as far as my projects. I'm busy daily with Kanin the Marauder, and that's just getting these books ready to go, because the books have been done for a while. But then we decided to add all these short stories. So the Lil Kanin short story, we have a second Lil Kanin short story coming. We have a couple of Kanin the Marauder short stories coming from other people. The young Kanin the Rebel, that story still needs colored. So there's details that I'm still working out that have to be finished in the next couple of weeks. So I'm busy with Kanin. Nothing else.
Man, I understand it completely. Well, since we're coming up at time, can you let us know where we could like follow you and keep up to date on your projects or on
Yeah.
your socials?
Yeah, my name is Ben Ferrari again. I am Pilot Studios. I post fairly regularly to my Facebook page, both Pilot Studios and my personal page. I think I'm definitely on Instagram as Pilot Studios Official. And I think everything that I post on Facebook goes directly there. And then a little bit of Blue Sky, a little bit of what's the other one? Threads. But mainly I spend my time on Facebook. If you can, ignore my politics, you'll see lots of great comic books. So, yeah, that's about it, I guess.
And you can find me, Kevin Davis, at I am Kevin Davis CEO on Facebook. I am Kevin Davis Official on Instagram. And you can find me here at the Kevirsyle Network on the Madness Entertainment Group because we're all mad at times. Thank you, brother, for coming on.
One more comment, if I could.
Okay.
Always Punch Nazis has an Etsy page as well. If you search on Etsy for Pilot Studios or Always Punch Nazis, you'll find that. And that's a page dedicated to the Always Punch Nazis series. So.
All right, then. Well, thank you for coming on, brother. And
Thank you.
Kanin the Marauder looks freaking fantastic. And I really hope we get to that 1,000 for you, and potentially get to the 2,000. I'm gonna continue sharing it till the campaign's over. And,
much appreciated. Even if we
and,
don't get there, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your help. It's really good to meet
yes,
you,
sir.
and that was a good time.
And you can join the Madness Facebook group where you can also promote your stuff, where we always support each other, and indie for life.
All right, man.
This has been a new episode of Kevirsyle Network, and we'll see you next time, guys.
If you missed the live viewing of any Madness Entertainment Group production, you can find all our content on Roku or as a member of this channel. We'll see you next time on the Madness Entertainment Group.